Yes, hello everyone. I'm Ben from MMA UK, and I'm here with Abdul. Abdul, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself?
I'm very good, thank you. Obviously, you've got a fight coming up on the first of October. First, what's your feelings about it?
I feel good about it. I like the opponent. I didn't. I've watched a little bit of his last fight. I was also at the event that he fought at because obviously I fought earlier on the day.
Yeah.
Seen a little few bits of him obviously fighting. I do think that he's a good opponent for me. But
Mm.
ultimately, I'm looking to go out there and put on my best performance and get the victory at the end of the day, no matter what.
Yeah.
That's my goal right now.
Yeah, of course, you've got to do it by any means necessary.
But
Obviously, you you're out just earlier in the year. Obviously, your first round finish. Just talk me through how that's helped coming into
So
this.
it helped. It helped a lot. Obviously, people around the scene will know who Reece Street is in the first place. So what ended up happening about a week out to my fight, my opponent pulled out. He had some sort of injury or something like that occurred, and then I ended up getting a late notice pull in. It was another opponent. From what I'm aware of, the opponent made weight and everything like that, so he was scheduled to fight. But on fight day, he didn't actually turn up. That's why Reece Street ended up getting pulled in. Reece is an experienced guy. He's dangerous on the feet. If you look at my last fight, he caught me with everything that he threw. It's like he knew the distance very well. He has good hands, Reece. No matter what people say about him, he has good hands, and he was catching me with quite a few things. But obviously,
Yeah.
ultimately, I managed to shoot in. I managed to shoot and get the takedown and secure the finish. That was what the game plan was, and that was what I ended up executing in that moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it was executed really, really well. And of course, you're building momentum. Just for everyone out there, how long have you been training MMA then?
I'd say it's a bit awkward just because of the pandemic year. Obviously, I wasn't training in the gym. However, I had maybe about a 3-4 month where I wasn't doing anything because of everything that was going on. But then I think I started actually working things on my own from home. So I was working like my own mechanics and stuff like that. Practicing just the very basics, mate. Still getting a sweat on and stuff like that at home, and just trying to improve and refine certain parts of my striking and my wrestling and stuff like that from home. So I'd say maybe about we're reaching maybe the 50th year now. 50th year
Yeah,
of training. Yeah. So I started when I was about 15, and I'm 20 years old right now.
damn up. Respect for that, my friend. Respect for that. Obviously, training out of Manchester. Obviously, everyone knows there's a
Yeah.
big UK boom in
Yeah. Yeah.
MMA. Obviously, Leon Edwards winning the belt.
Yeah.
Also, representation of the other fighters in the UFC. What's your ultimate end goal? Say, give it maybe 10 years down the line. You like to look back and say, "Oh, this is what I've done at this certain point."
For me, the reason why I chose this journey wasn't just because like I have something that makes me want to fight or really want to beat people up. The one of the main reasons that I chose this journey was to grow as a person. So in 10 years time, I just want to know that the sacrifices were worth it. I tried my best, definitely, and I approached all the situations and the whole process properly, and just grew up and became mature and disciplined how I've always wanted to be. When I was like in high school and stuff like that, I felt like I was starting to mature a lot quicker than the people around me because of the things that I was going through. Being consistent in training, having tough training sessions, turning up to school the next day, so still turning up in the evenings, stuff like that. That type of discipline, the maturity needed in that type of environment. It's already taught me a lot. And in 10 years' time, I just wanted to be, continuously teaching me more, experiencing more things, understanding myself more also, just so that I can grow. That's the main priority for me. Whatever happens in 10 years' time, obviously, as much as it is in my hands, it's also, I believe that is in God's hands in my eyes. I'll try and approach the process as best I can. I'll make sure that my coaches see that I'm moving in the right direction or working towards that. And whatever happens from there happens from there. I just go out there and put my best foot forward and perform. That's all that really I can expect of myself.
Yeah, of course. I think that's really, really good, because obviously you hear a lot of fighters that come up, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, I really do like your approach. I understand.
Yeah.
I train myself. I understand the day in, the day out. You saw, I don't want to go to train, but you train anyway.
But you still do. You still do. Yeah.
Yeah, you still do, exactly. So it really does build some character. So saying that you've had two. This is your third amateur fight.
This is my fourth amateur fight. Fourth, yeah.
Yeah, my bad. So yeah, it's exciting times for you. Are you hoping to go professional in a few years, possibly?
Yeah, of course. That's obviously the end goal. But the way that I really see it now is I try and focus on it fight to fight. I'm just trying to bring out the best that I possibly can each fight. I still feel like I don't really know what I'm capable of still. As much as was shown in my previous fights, and as much as I've only had 3 fights, I still don't know exactly what I'm capable of, and that's all I'm really trying to find out fight by fight. I want to see what I am like as a competitor. When things get tough, what am I like? When things are going really well for me in a fight, what am I like? And just building. I try not to look. Obviously, it's good. I want to obviously get somewhere with what I'm doing. I've put the work in through the years. I've not cut any corners anywhere. I have that confidence from my coaches as well. It's not just me saying this. They tell me all this all the time. But ultimately for me, it's just focusing on fight to fight. I try not to look too far into the future, because realistically anything can happen at any time. An injury, a bad injury could happen at any time, or maybe, do you know what, maybe I'm open to the fact that maybe I just think to myself, oh, maybe this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah,
but that's not what I'm really thinking of now. I'm thinking of obviously intentionally go out there putting on a performance, but I'm aware that these things can happen. I'm open to these things, but that's pretty much how I see it there.
Yeah, of course, you've got to have a you've got to have a realistic mindset about it. You said
exactly.
You said obviously about your coaches. How's the environment in the gym day to day? Obviously, you've been there for a while. But how's it at the moment?
The environment's good. We have a small team, but we have a small team of hard grafters. Having guys like Jack Cartwright and Maniac Panning, and obviously being coached under my cousin also is like, it's great. It's great to have them around, and be learning constantly off them. Jack and my cousin also being one of my main coaches. And like I said, when I talk about the confidence part, it's not just the confidence that I have in myself. They come up to me, when I may be feeling like a bit doubtful of myself and, a bit less of myself. They put me straight, like they tell me that you are a hard worker, you put in the work, and it's just about going out there, putting all that other stuff aside and going out there to put on the best performance that you can. And they believe if I put my best foot forward, I can do some serious things inside the cage. So that's what I take into it. That's what I take into the cage.
Of course. I mean, hard work and having people around you that you trust is so crucial.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
And of course, you've got Manny in Cage Warriors coming up soon.
Fighting Dean Truman.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? Obviously,
I personally think Dean Truman's going to be in for a very tough fight. It's not going to be an easy fight for Manny. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like Dean Truman's obviously a bad fighter or anything like that. He's a former champion, but Manny's striking is so unorthodox. I don't know if you've seen his last fight, but it's very unorthodox. Like, even if you spar with him day to day, like, you don't really get used to his type of movement. You can get a bit more used to it, but I expect every opponent that he faces to be like, whoa, this guy is very weird the way that he's fighting, because it is very unorthodox the way that Manny sets things up to his range. You know, he's very good at keeping that distance, but keeping people on the tip of his kicks and everything like that it's going to be a really good fight. But ultimately, I'm looking for Manny to get that KO finish again. That's what's going to happen, I believe.
Yeah, he is in my eyes, he's definitely one of the best prospects in the UK. He's
definitely.
Last few fights. Back onto yourself. Obviously, you said only what you've shown in your fights is the grappling heavy approach, and you're working your striking. How is that mixing it day to day?
On a day, you know, I've even recently, you know, I've been mainly trying to work on my striking again. You know, just working that composure. Really, you know, it's difficult sometimes because obviously I've been a strong grappler, and obviously if you look at my first fight, you know, I pretty much dominated in the grappling department. You know, I have a type. I believe that I've grown to build a type of pressure that makes it horrible for people that are on bottom. You know, my game from top is to make your life as horrible as I possibly can on bottom, to then open up other things for me, you know, to advance to better positions, land ground and pound, or submit you. That's all I've been working on, you know, in the grappling sense. But when I do my MMA spars and stuff like that, it's not ever just me just going in for takedowns or just working my takedowns. I am also working like my striking composure, working my hands, throwing volume, moving my head off center lines, making angles and stuff like that. It's the whole like whole mix there. The way that I've trained, I've always, no matter what, I've always wanted to be a well-rounded mixed martial artist. There was never in my eyes that I was like, oh, I just want to be a striker, or I just want to be a grappler. I want to be, the way that I train, I want to be a danger practically everywhere, you know, wrestling, my jiu-jitsu and my striking. And that's what I work on, you know. I do the specifics. So I might attending a striking class, a wrestling class, and the jiu-jitsu class. Like I normally go on the Thursday night. I train at the Manchester Wrestling Club, just to work on my wrestling. Obviously, we still do wrestling during the week at the MMA gym, but I like to go to Manchester Wrestling Club because obviously they're all specific wrestlers, so you know that they're going to be a specific type of body.
Yeah, of course.
They are definitely very tough. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the Team GB guys and stuff like that also train in the evenings for that session. So it's a lot of good work, and it's hard work too. So that's how I work on my wrestling. Obviously the jits and stuff like that I work at my own gym, and striking I also work at my own gym. And I like I said, I've always wanted to put everything together. It was never one way, but for me, I see it as if say for example in my first fight I was having so much success, you know, just grappling with the guy, wall wrestling, taking him down, controlling and trying to land ground and pound. It's like, why not at that point? If that is my easiest path to victory, then I am gonna take it. Or if the easiest path to victory for me is to keep it on the feet and strike with the guy, then I will do it. You know, that's the way that I see it, and I believe that's gonna get me further for when in the future when I need to, you know, rely on certain parts of my game in a fight, you know, specific to an opponent.
Yeah, of course. So just looking forward to your fight against Conor. How do you see it playing out? Obviously, it's not
honestly, if I was going to be honest with you, I couldn't really tell you exactly how the fight's going to play out. I know that he's quite a loose striker, as in he's very loose on the feet, you know, very bouncy and stuff like that. But I see it. I just feel like I'm gonna make the reads on the day, and then I'm gonna figure everything out on the day. You know, I respect him. I respect him as an opponent, but ultimately I'm going out there to put on my best performance yet. You know, I'm not satisfied with my last win whatsoever. I've had a chip on my shoulder ever since that last win against Reed Street. Even if it was a first round finish, obviously it being a late pull-in and not feeling like a real opponent, I'm really looking to put on a performance this next fight, and that's all I'm really focused on right now. Whatever he brings to the table, fair enough. But for me mainly, it's not about what he brings to the table. It's about what I can bring to the table and what I can do on the day, you know. And whatever happens from there, really, you know.
Yeah. Well, good on you, man. I like the way you're speaking. I like your headspace. It's definitely it's definitely a good position to be in. Just finally, before we finish, obviously you're fairly young, Mike, yourself. So am I. What would you say to any kids maybe in secondary school thinking about getting into this? They've seen it on the TV. What would be your advice to them?
I would listen. Even you don't have to go down the MMA route the way that I did. You know, I just enjoyed it, which is why I did it. You know, I enjoyed the learning. But I'd advise anyone to just learn jiu-jitsu. You know, jiu-jitsu puts you in certain positions where the only thing that actually gets hurt is your feelings. You don't actually get hurt. You know, you feel horrible.
Yeah,
you feel horrible. You feel like nasty. But I feel like for me and also other people, like I'll speak for myself, like during them times when I was in them positions and feeling horrible, I learned a lot about myself in them situations, you know, and that's part of the reasons why I've grown the way that I've grown up to this stage, and I'm hoping to obviously grow more, but that's how I've grown to this stage and how I've matured because of being in these difficult situations and still being like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to slowly work this, or I failed on that, or I did a bit better there, you know. It's just chipping away at these little things and just try and enjoy it as best you can, really, when it comes to that type of stuff, because it is horrible, don't get me wrong. The same way that I'm telling you that I like and I've grown my game to be horrible to other people, plenty of people have been horrible to me. You know, I've been on bottom, sweating my face, a sweaty gi, and like barely, like my head's bent this way and like my arms over that way, and like someone's just sweating all over me. You know, I've been in them positions, you know, but I've learned the most from being in them difficult situations, and I feel like every young person can learn the same things that I've learned from doing it. And I believe that it grows their confidence also, you know, in general life, when they know that they've been through hard things like that, you know. And like I said, they're not actually getting hurt, it's only their feelings in that moment. So that's what I'd advise for young people, you know, to get into some sort of martial art that, you know, gets you a bit more out of your comfort zone, mainly.
Of course. Of course. I've trained myself, and I can say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It definitely brings you out your shell, and it helps with your confidence. I just want to say thank you for your time, Abdul. I wish you all the best in your fight. I'll be following along, and I wish you all the best for your adventures, man.
Yep. Thank you very much for the interview then. All right. Take care.
Take care.